G'day. Well, second time around. Got about 3.5 minutes since the last one and stopped it because I wasn't really saying anything. So here goes for a second round. I still don't really know what to say. Sorry I look a bit messy. I finished work and after having been to the hardware shop and the shops earlier in the day and basically finished my work day, grabbed some buckets and the Mylar bags and filled them. So I now have 6 buckets basically filled. Yeah, the way this fuel thing is going, it's kind of disconcerting, really. Neil McCoy Ward, who I've been following for roughly around about 5 or 6 years now, had a thing on Australia, and it appears we've, got roughly until about April 21st before that's all she wrote. So unless something major happens between now and then, we're going to start seeing a lot of things go up in price. And they're already talking about what they term as energy lockdowns, meaning basically that they want to try and conserve as much fuel as they possibly can by keeping people at home. So, and as far as they're concerned, only 2 weeks. Where have I heard that before? Anyway, so that is a possibility. So, I guess I'm sort of starting to think, well, food, water, the very basics, probably, well, water shouldn't stop. But just in case it does, it's always decent enough to have some around. But food is going to get awfully expensive, and at the end of the day, if we're not allowed to be outside the house, then, it's probably best to have a little bit inside the house just in case. So thus, I bought a bit of flour, some yeast, and a couple of other bits and pieces so I can actually make my own bread. And I mean, ooh, bread. I do have other stuff here. So, yeah, it's not just about bread. But, it's something to consider because, loaves of bread are getting expensive, around about $5 for a loaf of bread. So I figure if I can learn how to make it, and I have tried before and I have succeeded, so I may as well have a look at that as well. And it's just a matter of just having a few extra bits and pieces in the house. It's not a matter of going down the shop like your life depends on it, aka toilet paper. And if you still need to buy toilet paper now, I'd be seriously looking at the way you shop or what you actually eat that needs to use that amount of toilet paper, because people used to buy heaps of it. So where's all that gone? Well, we know where it's gone, but surely some of it doesn't still exist in a cupboard somewhere. So yeah, it's looking like we might go into some form of lockdown again. There'll be those obviously who will say, stuff that. I mean, my benefit is I don't have to wear a mask. The other benefit is I work from home, and I have done for 15 years. So, it was hilarious watching people at the last lockdown, oh my God, we're working from home. That means we can put a 2-seater couch in the office and put a TV and a nice pot plant, and I'm thinking, do you have a couch? Do you have a TV at work? No, probably not. So why are you putting it inside a home office? The whole idea is to work from home. So, if that's possible for some of you, I'm aware that a lot of you won't have that ability. So the question you have to be asking sooner rather than later is, if we do go into these supposed energy lockdowns where fuel is rationed, and they're still trying to figure out how that's going to work. I know some countries are saying 15 litres per week maximum. Now, I don't know where anyone can go on 15 litres, but, you know, certainly not to work and back, maybe down to the shops and back, but, you know, who knows. I can sort of see where all this is leading, and it kind of rhymes with 15-minute, what was that word again? Yeah, I'll let you work it out. So it makes you wonder where this is kind of leading, because that wonderful date that starts with 2, has a couple of zeros and maybe a 3 in it, is coming up awfully quick. And that's actually only 2.5 years away. So, and anyone who's gone through the last 5 or 6 years and looked into things and has a fairly open mind knows basically what's coming. And this sounds awfully like that. Because if you simply look at the way countries are reacting, no one really, I mean, it's funny because you look at the politicians on TV and most of them have got a smirk. It's like, and today's announcement, we've got enough fuel. Yeah. For whom? You and your limo and your private helicopter and maybe your jet. I don't know. But as for the rest of us, no, sorry, we ran out. Got none left. We can't share it. So maybe put something away. Maybe have your car filled above half a tank all the time. And if you can, a full tank. I think it's probably a little bit too late to be filling jerry cans, although some still are. But if you're going to sort of take a chance on that, good luck at the service station, because you're probably going to get abused. Do not put fuel in plastic bags. And there is a video, and I've seen it, and it's going around the internet, of somebody putting fuel inside plastic shopping bags and then sticking it in their car. Do not do that, please. I know you're worried about fuel, but there's better ways to store fuel. And if you put it in a jerry can, put some fuel stabilizer in it, you're good. That is if you've already done it. So just pick your times when you go to the service station to fill up your jerry can, is all I'm going to say. Because people are on a knife's edge right now, and if they see someone filling up in front of them with a 20-litre jerry can, they're going to hit the roof, and I would expect it. So yeah, just don't, just keep the car filled up, and you should be fine. Most cars hold about 60 litres. That's more than good enough for about 400 or 500 Ks. And when I say Ks, I'm talking kilometres. So, that should do the trick. So just be careful. Bit of food, drinks, whatever you consume. And it's sort of been one of those things that I've had to think a lot about with regards to what you actually store. Because I don't eat Spam. I can't stand the bloody stuff. And so I don't have any in my house, and I don't have any elsewhere. It's just not my thing. So, and maybe try what you're actually storing, because a lot of people buy stuff with the belief that they'll put it away, and maybe they might use it, because people have told them to go out and get rice, beans, and whatever else. Well, if you don't know how to cook beans, and I'd imagine most people know how to cook rice, then give it a go. Try it. See what you think. You're better off doing it now, because maybe inside of 6 months, when you actually, that's all you've got, and you go to cook it or you go to try it, and you just go, ugh, you know. Well, now's the time to figure it out, you know, because you'd be silly if you didn't. And yes, there are a lot of people still wandering around who've got no idea what's going on, no idea what's coming, and are either too scared because they don't want to know, they've got enough going on in their lives, or they don't care. They just, the world's wonderful, you know. Well, it's not, but you know, I mean, I'm beyond all the usual rubbish. The world's good, so no, nothing's going to go wrong. Nothing's gone wrong for decades now. So what makes you think something's going to go wrong now? And you can talk to them until they're blue in the face. Nothing's going to change their opinion. So, you know, and most of these people barely have 2 days worth of food. I mean, how many times do you go to the shops and you see people just going in there and grabbing 3 or 4 items for dinner, you know, and maybe buying lunch or buying breakfast or not even worrying about breakfast, you know, it beggars belief. You know, it's just crazy. I mean, I live in the country, so my nearest big shop is 1.5 hours to 2 hours away. That's one direction. So I've got to be sitting in a car for 1.5 hours to 2 hours to get there. And then once I've shopped, I've got to turn around and come back. So you tend to have enough. You learn how to cook. You learn how to clean. You don't just have one container of dishwashing liquid in the cupboard. You've normally got about 4 or 5. And it's only because if you run out, there's another one. And next time you go shopping, you get 2. You know, it's not hard. And you're rotating stock constantly because you have to live and therefore you use stuff. So, yeah. What else is there? I mean, I thank you very much to the new subscribers. Awesome to see you. Love to have you comment and say g'day or hello or bonjour or whatever language you happen to speak. I'd love to hear what you want to know. What do you want to know from me? I mean, obviously I can't go into a lot of personal stuff because it's personal. But, you know, I'd love to know what you want to hear me have a chat about. I want to know what you want me to say. This is not just my channel, it's also the subscribers channel as well. You joined it to listen to me, and if you want to hang around, you got to hear what you want to hear. So, and if you're not hearing what you want to hear or seeing what you want to see, then there's no point in not saying anything. Say something. I'm not going to get offended. I'm old enough that I don't. I've got messy hair. My face is red. I need a shave because it's annoying me. And yeah, I want to know. So say something. Don't sit there and be quiet. I'll leave it there. Probably another bit of a rant, I suppose, but you know, I don't know. You have a lovely night, a lovely day, and I will catch you next time.